Among Us. Probably the most addictive modern game I've played in a little while. I mean, I'm not lying, I legitimately stopped jerking off one time to play another game. I'll play it anywhere, at any time, but sometime in the past few days, I've realized something about the game. Something that can actually be seen as a compliment, but when actually analyzed is probably the biggest flaw of the game. What is it? Well, I love being the imposter. And I know you might be like, okay, so what? But no, you don't get it. I like being the imposter so much that I hate being a crewmate. And realizing my own preference with this game made me break down the appeal of the structure of it. And I don't mean the cool fact that this entire game is laid out like the thing. I mean that this game isn't like other games that have this type of dualic cops and robbers nature to them. Since games like Rainbow Six Siege, although one team is rescuing and the other team is fending off the rescuers, or one team sets a bomb and the other team defuses one, even with those being the main goal of the round, there's still a super similar aspect to whatever mode you play. That being that you are killing people. And I'm not trying to make it seem like my problem with Among Us is that I'm mad I can't kill as a crewmate. My problem is that there's no similarity between being an imposter and being a crewmate, which sounds like an odd observation. But think about this. When there is no type of relation between two roles in a video game such as this, it splits the players of said game. By this, I mean that most people who play this game will like one role over the other. And that doesn't seem like that big of a deal. There's tons of games that have sections that are way more boring than others. However, when I play water levels, racing missions, fetch quests, etc., I always suck it up and continue on. But to be perfectly honest with you, there's times where I see the word crewmate slowly fade in, almost as if to say,
Gotcha, bitch!
those times where I see that I'm not the imposter, I will disconnect from the server. And yes, I discovered that there's a penalty for this. And to be honest, knowing that, I still do it. Because that's how boring I find being the crewmate. I don't even know why. Finding out who the imposter is, doing those decent mini games in the form of tasks, working together, all those things are actually fun. But I just know that I'd have a lot more fun if I were to be butchering my crew members. But I digress. This video isn't supposed to be entirely about my preferences with the game. I'm trying to actually articulate a problem within this fun online experience. So instead of talking about my rough observations, let's actually reference some key points of this game that don't aid in an equal attraction level at all. First up is the main thing, this being the match settings. In Among Us, the most members in one server is 10. The maximum number of imposters is 3. The lowest of each of those is 4, and one of them is the imposter. I mean, this varies with how many people are in a server. You can't have 3 imposters with only 1 crewmate, and so on. Now, this doesn't seem like much. It actually is quite standard. 10 people with 1 imposter? That's a full ass game. 2 imposters in a 10-player server? Sure, it'll go a little faster, but it can also be fun as hell. Now, 3 imposters in a server with 10? That's where the problem is. If there were 10 players in a game with 3 imposters, then that's not only a short game, that's a game not worth playing. You see, when it's you and 2 other imposters, then hell. You guys might win the game before you even get a kill. And if you're a crewmate in a game with 3 imposters, then you're going to have to avoid every fucking player you encounter, which I know is part of playing as a crewmate. But having to constantly make sure you're not around anybody because within a few seconds somebody could chop you in fucking half is annoying. So what I'm trying to say is, due to the 10-player limit, these games can either feel too long or too short. There's no middle ground unless you manage to become an imposter in a full server, or you're in a full server as a crewmate and 1 imposter. Honestly, that was the last main component I had left to talk about. There are a few glaring issues, but I feel like these might be a little less universal. For example, I honestly don't like that there's not a leveling up system in the game. I mean, I know they can't really grant you anything more than a new hat or something, but a little reminder of how good or bad you've been doing would be nice. Another thing is that there's tasks that are super hard on mobile, but are easy on PC, and then there are ones that are easy on mobile, but hard on PC. Plus, I guess maybe you could say the game is repetitive, but then again, what online game isn't? Not to mention the fact that each match is usually a little different since there are several options when creating a match. Now, I'm honestly only saying all of this to express my observations, since I don't hate this game, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video. In fact, there are a lot of fun things about it, such as the lighting in the game, the chat and voting features honestly didn't have to be included, there are still really nice aspects. I like that varying colors isn't the only customizing option, and as previously mentioned, the fact that it plays out like a cartoonish version of the thing, it's pretty fucking awesome. So yeah, that's the big issue I have with Among Us. Does this make me not like the game that much? Not really. I mean, the 2017 Friday the 13th game had a semi-similar layout, and I fucking love that game. Then again, most of the appeal to that game was that it was an actual good Friday the 13th game, and you didn't have to do fucking tasks! But what I'm trying to say is that I don't hate Among Us. I'll continue to play it until it inevitably dies out. But I think what I've been trying to say is that the one big issue I pointed out might be one of the factors in this game's demise. But hey, maybe I'm just an idiot.